One of the biggest mistakes that you could make as a single is to start preparing for marriage when you are planning your wedding. You know, in Happy Marriage Institute, we have training and we operate online basically. It's just once in a while we do physical programs like that. But for this year, we want to do program once in a month. And that's what we started in January. Sometimes when we are having marriage and relationship projects, we make people to create WhatsApp groups. And they will have their friends and families. And then if you know your enemies, you also have your enemies. And sometimes some people who are single, they're going to say, I'm not in a relationship, so I don't need the training. Do you start preparing for exam? Do you start reading when your exam is next week?
No, sir.
Or when your exam is next month? Is that the right time to start reading?
No, sir.
If you wrote SSCE, you know that what the questions they are going to ask you in SSCE is what you have done from SS1 to SS3, right?
Yes, sir.
And what you did from SS1 to SS3 are based on what you did from GS1 to GS3, right? So that means the questions that will ask you within the 1 month or less that you are writing SSCE is going to be based on what? What you have learned for 6 years. Do you get it now? And that is just one exam. If you are going to write UTME, they are going to base questions on what you have learned in SSCE at a higher level, right? Now, if you're in university and you're writing an exam, they are going to base the question on what they have taught you from maybe year 1 based on the level where you are writing the exam. But most time, what they have taught you within the period of 1 year, right? So if you are going to start preparing for exam, and it is when the exam is next week, that's when you start reading. You know that you have already failed to some extent, right? Now, do you know the reason why a lot of us, okay, not a lot of us, a lot of people fail their exams? It's because when the exam is 1 week, that's when they start reading. And their parents will say, hey, especially if they fail a course or a subject, a parent will say, hey, my daughter was reading overnight every day. What mommy and daddy did not know was that their daughter was supposed to have been reading for 1 year ahead. What he or she started reading 1 week. Do you get it now? Now, the reason why a lot of marriages fail is because people don't learn early enough, or they don't start learning early enough. Are you getting me now? People don't what? They don't start learning about marriage early enough. So you now say that, oh, we want to get married. It is 3 months and then we are going for counseling. It is 6 months we are going for counseling. That's all the learning that some people had. Or when they're about to enter into a relationship, that's when they start learning. At least that one is still better. Are you getting me now? You are supposed to start learning about marriage as early as when you have the consciousness of marriage. When you are conscious that people usually get married. When you come to the realization that my daddy and my mommy, they actually got married. That's why they are living together. When you have the consciousness that you are going to get married one day, that is when you need to start learning about marriage. And for those of us who are here now and that are married or that are going to get married, we are all going to have children, right? You need to start teaching your children about marriage from the day you give birth to them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because another reason why marriages fail is because children grew up learning from the bad marriages of their parents. Children do what?
Grew up learning from the bad marriages of the parents.
If you see somebody that usually beats his wife or that usually fights a husband, go and check. Most likely, the parent of that person usually fight. Do you understand? So, the people learned from their parents how to beat and how to fight each other. Do you understand me now? That is why you need to consciously learn how to have a happy marriage. Happy marriage doesn't just fall from heaven and doesn't fall on anyone. Do you get it now? It is learned. It is what? You don't just enter into examination hall and you write, answer questions, and you pass. You have to learn. You have to study. You have to read.